Hello everyone, my name is Ilelemwanta Nomaren, and this is Verse Breakdown. The verse that I want to discuss today is 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 8, which reads, He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. What does this verse mean? Well, let's look at that first part. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill. This can be interpreted physically, of course, because yes, God is able to give riches to his followers to bring them out of poverty, as seen in Psalms chapter 112, verses 1 and 3. However, it isn't just about physical riches. It's also about spiritual riches. God can uplift us by giving us his truth. There is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 15. This knowledge is the kind of stuff listed in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. Stuff like love and faith. Stuff that can actually guide us and bring us closer to God, according to Psalms chapter 119, verse 125. Now, let's look at the next part. To set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. Obviously, we're looking at honor here. Not being lifted up through money, but being lifted up through status. Being an outstanding person. However, this isn't about being physically lifted up to become a king of this world, because the righteous can't be the most popular in the world, according to John chapter 15, verse 19. The people who are popular are the people who deceive others, according to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. Rather, we are going to be spiritually uplifted. We're going to be spiritually glorified. Since God's word must come to pass, according to Isaiah chapter 55, verses 10 and 11, God said things about the wicked, and they will come to pass. Stuff like Psalms chapter 9, verse 17. So we can look at that, watch the wicked tease us, and then they go through that, and we can think, who ended up victorious now? Finally, let's go into the last part of 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 8. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. This is basically saying that everything we've talked about so far, the glorifying of the righteous and the uplifting of the righteous, and just the general fate of the righteous in these last days and beyond, it's all guaranteed by God. He was the one who created this earth to begin with in Genesis chapter 1. He was the one who allowed us to have a chance of salvation after we sinned in the Garden of Eden in Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 to 6. He was the one who gave us that second chance, according to Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. Therefore, we shouldn't be worried about what will happen to the wicked or what will happen to the righteous, because God has got our back. He is going to protect the righteous, according to Psalms chapter 40, verse 17. And we can be sure that if we stick with the faith to the end, according to Hebrews chapter 10, verse 38, there will be something good waiting for us. And that is where I can stop in discussing the verse for Samuel chapter 2, verse 8. Which once again reads, He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 8. Thank you for listening.